I would like to talk to you today about indigenous rights. Recently, there was a ruling of the Supreme Court that it wasn't really for it, but somehow it came, that half of the state of Oklahoma should be an Indian reservation. Half the state of Oklahoma. And I was happy, and yet I was sad. I was happy because at the time the United States government made treaties with the tribes for different things. I don't know, over like a few hundreds of them. And that's basically going back to a treaty that was old, and they promised them, because they removed the Cherokee, the Choctaw Indians, and so on and so forth, and they put them all in Oklahoma. I was very happy for them. And it's very important to recognize the rights of indigenous people to the land. A lot of the damage in the world today, and we see it as a world problem if you really trace it, really stems from the imperialist, colonialist trends of European countries, mainly England, France, and its sort, but mainly England and France, because they simply divided the area and they called their own, and they created a problem, not understanding what was going on, the creations of states like Bangladesh and Pakistan and India and so on and so forth. The whole entire Middle East basically was decided by a ruler. You own this property, I own that property, completely ignoring, the human aspect of the people that live there. I mean, they came in, it's a known thing, they came in, the Spanish, the Portuguese, they came to places like America or Asia or Japan, and they said, every place you step, that's going to belong to the Spanish king, or and so on, it belongs to the crown, or England, and so on and so forth. And like, really, who gives you the right to do so? What right? So I was very happy that they were able to get the land. Yes, even though that the state of Oklahoma is about, if I'm not mistaken, something like 70,000 square miles, and there are only 320 Native Americans, 320,000 Native Americans live there. It's a tremendous amount of land, per person. But I was very sad. I was very sad, and by the way, I have to tell you, I was very surprised and very happy to hear someone like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar speaking against anti-Semitism in sports. And you know what? As they say in French, chapeau to you, remove the hat for you, kol hakavod, good for you, man. But I'm sad because us as Jews, we first of all keep quiet about anti-Semitism. We don't really talk much. I want to see if some Jew get beaten up in the street, if we're going to go down to the streets and we're going to say Jewish life matter and so on and so forth. Nobody will do that. We don't care. We want somebody else, the police to take care of us. We want this to take care of us. We want our master to take care of us. And that doesn't happen. That's the difference between people that live in Israel, Jews that live in Israel, and Jews that live outside of Israel. In Israel, Habibi, you got to take care of yourself. And in America, in other places, we always go to the police and so on. But we had to take things to our own matter in terms of our own protection. Of course, I'm absolutely against looting and barbaric thing, but you should take your protest to the streets and let people know that you're really angry. And what bothers me even more is that conspiracy that all the nations of the world are involved with. And that is, and I'm here declaring it, the Jews are the indigenous people of the land of Israel. The Palestinians are the invaders. Most of them are not local. They came from tribes of Bedouins that were traveling. There were Saudi soldiers that came during the Ottoman Empire and they were settled down there in the beginning of the 20th century. They came there because the Jews were there. Don't tell me stories. the Jews are the indigenous people for the land of Israel. And as the indigenous people of the land of Israel, we deserve a homeland. We deserve a place without nobody interrupting. And I don't need the world to tell me that. I know that. This acknowledging the right of the Jews to the land of Israel, the whole land of Israel, from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean. Denying that would not be possible if you are a Muslim or a Christian. Go look at the Bible and see what it says. And why is it that we are denied our own right? It bothers me, it bothers people that there was a football team called the Redskins. Because it's an insult to the people and a reminder of them that they are different and so on and so forth. And I'm going to tell you this. Don't you think it's an insult for me that I cannot build my own temple on the Temple Mount? Why is it such a bad thing and if I'm not even allowed to say it? Why did we have to hand it over in 1967? It's ours. They built the mosque on top of a Byzantine church that was built on top of our temple. We never gave up hope. There's a thing that's called in Halakha, it's called Yeush Ba'alim. Yeush Ba'alim, if you're the owner, and you says, okay, you know what, I give up on it. That's it, I give up, I don't know where it is. So therefore I can come, it's called Hefker, I can come and pick it up and claim it my own because you gave up your right for it. We never gave up the right. For crying out loud, we daven, we pray 3 times a day. Bring us back to Etzion. Bring us, build Jerusalem back. Build your temple back. We didn't give up hope. But you allowed other cultures for their political or whatever reason to put ideas in your head that you don't have a right to the land. And you should share it and you should split it and you should say it and so on. We have more claim to the land of Israel. Jews have more claim to the land more than anybody else. And yet, we have to become apologetic about it. And until you're going to understand that, and you're going to internalize that, you have a problem. In other words, because you don't have a land. You give up your right to the land. And you therefore cannot take it back. And I think we should start presenting ourselves as indigenous people of the Holy Land. It's my right. You don't believe me? Go look at the Bible. That's what it says there. You're a Christian. How can you disacknowledge the Bible? You're Muslim. How can you disacknowledge that? What's the New Testament without the Old Testament? What's the Bible without the Quran without the Bible? So you got to understand that. But the problem, I don't just blame the nations. I blame ourselves. Because we allowed ourselves to adopt ideas and concepts that were meant to begin with to strip us from any right for anything, including the right to live. And I think it's about time, and that has to stop. The land of Israel, the state of Israel, is about a little bit less than 20,000 square miles. Half of Oklahoma is still double than the size of Israel. You got the right because they claim that they are indigenous people to the land. You don't have any right because you disacknowledge the fact that you are indigenous to that land. And I think it's something that we should start using. The rights of the Jews, of the indigenous people to the Holy Land. I like it. I think it's a great idea. And stop being apologetic about things. Rabotai, have a wonderful day, and it's about time to develop a spine, develop some other things, and to look into the world straight into the eye and do what you need to do. Of course, in the ways of peace. Have a wonderful day.